Hey everybody, welcome back to our Houston Texans franchise as we continue the drive towards the playoffs. I say that, you know, 8 weeks into it. We are halfway through the season. The trade deadline has closed at this point, so nobody else is going to be traded. We are 3-4 on the year, and today we're going to be facing off against the Jacksonville Jaguars. We did lose to them earlier in the season. I believe y'all remember the game where Menschew played to absolute perfection and beat us in the last minute as we lost 31 to 24. And so this is going to be a comeback game from us. We have played two division games against Jacksonville and one against Tennessee, and we have lost both of them. So we have got to step it up if we're going to at least. We're obviously not going to be a number one seed, but if we're going to get into the playoffs, the only way we're going to do it is by winning the AFC South, and we need to start that right now with beating the Jacksonville Jaguars. But first, we're going to go ahead and do some scouting. I am going to look at free agents here in a minute. I showed you we needed to get some right tackles. I did some more of the scouting off camera, and there's really nothing available at this point for right tackle. On the defensive side, that's where my focus has primarily been, and I think that's where I think it really needs to be. Defensive tackle, we got lots of different possibilities of people out there, and so I'm willing to bet maybe, at least I'm keeping my fingers crossed, that one of them falls to the third round. I'm not sure. I haven't decided who I'm going with as our first round pick, whether it be a defensive tackle or if we can get somebody at corner, have it be a cornerback because we still need someone shut down. Probably my guess is the free agency time period is going to determine that a whole lot. So we'll kind of look at it there. But one other area that we're really lacking is going to be within our linebacker segment. Right outside linebacker is pretty decent right now, but those guys are spread pretty thin. Our middle linebacker and left outside linebacker is where we're kind of hit the hardest. Now, left outside linebacker, we have already scouted. Through the second round, I'm fairly certain at least one of these guys will probably fall to the third or fourth. I may check out some of these guys a little bit later. I just don't feel like doing them right now. I need to take a look at our middle linebackers to see what we have, to see kind of what we might be looking at getting. Because I think everybody can say our linebackers have been kind of a problem. And not so much in the run stopper or even really the field general role that we see a lot of these guys have. But where we really kind of need someone is within our pass coverage. That's something that has been lacking for us majorly in the linebacker spot. Running backs are able to get open easier, and it's something that's kind of tearing us apart and hurting us pretty dang bad throughout these games. And if you know, we got a couple possible first rounders. I definitely don't see me using my first round pick on one of them. If I have multiple first round picks available, but if I had to make trades during free agency, I might go with one of these guys. I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, we kind of have to wait to see how the season plays out and who we're able to pick up in free agency. And let's take a look at what free agents are available right now. Maybe we see if we can have someone. I'm primarily looking at the cornerback role. And yeah, the highest is a 70 overall. That's not going to help us. So there's really not much of a point to looking to sign any one of these guys. So we're kind of stuck with what we got. And so that's how we're going to game plan going forward from here. We do have 9 players ready to negotiate. I still want to see more out of Conley. Cunningham, I'm probably going to sign him by the end of this week or by the end of this episode. I'm just not sure. And then Hargraves is someone that's definitely on my watch list. Hargraves and Conley, I just want to see how they develop over the next couple weeks, most likely before I do get them signed. And then Dylan Cole, try to get him a little bit more playing time. and see if we can't make a decision on him. So that's what we're looking at coming into this game. And so let's go ahead and jump on in, and we'll see how this one goes. And we are underway, kicking it off to Jacksonville to start this game. Like we need to give them another advantage after Menschew tore us up a couple weeks ago whenever we played them. And he will be taking the field first. Menschew mania against the Texans defense. I want to say we're formidable. We have our moments. Last time out against the Packers, we were pretty dang tough to beat out there. But this time we're going to face Leonard Fournette, and he takes it on down the left side for a big, about 18-yard gain, not holding anything back against us. For one rush, 19 yards. That is not going to be enough for our defense. We've got to step up and do a little bit better at containing him, and then trying to force Menschew to throw for 400 yards again. And they're going to run it with Fournette again down the left side. Looks like they're starting to target that side. And they'll get about 5 yards, giving Fournette 24 yards on 2 carries to start this game. And so here we come at a 2nd and 5, trying to get some movement, and we're unable to. And Menschew throws it down the middle to Westbrook for his first completion of the game, and it goes 16 yards. Now a little later in the drive, we have him at a 3rd and 7, and we get a big sack coming off from our tackle. What a play, forcing them to punt the ball over to us. Actually, they don't punt it, never mind, they kick the field goal. God, can't even keep them from scoring from 50 yards out, for Christ's sake. But we will take over after that field goal, now trailing once again 3-0, as tends to be our season motto. We're not trailing, really, the Texans? I don't know. I'm looking to change that, and I think we will eventually. And after that incomplete pass, whenever we rolled out to the right, it gives us a 2nd and 10, and we're going to try running the ball, and Johnson gets some good yards on that 2nd down run, getting 8 yards. We might be trying to turn the corner with our run game. Y'all know I'm too stubborn to quit doing that, so I have to keep it up. And now we have ourselves with a 3rd and 2 from the 30. And they're going to bring a lot of pressure, but we find Cobb on the drag route, getting us a simple 1st down to the 36-yard line. And a little bit later on in our drive, we find ourselves with a 1st and 10. And Watson's going to drop back and roll to his right, and we heave it, and it gets cut under short, and they're going to intercept it, and he runs right around us, and he looks like he's going to take it all the way home at the 10, at the 5. We're now going to be trailing 10-0 on that pick 6. It seems like we cannot avoid interceptions no matter what we do. I don't know how we got around our receiver. He just did. So that'll bring us to a 1st and 10, now trailing by 10. But we go deep to Cooks down the left side, and he's going to make the catch to the 15, 10, 5, touchdown Houston, touchdown Texans. We're right back in this game with a 77-yard bomb from Watson to Cooks to make the score 10-7 with just under 7 minutes to go in the 1st quarter. And so now Jacksonville will take it over, and we get some pressure with Watts up the middle, but of course they find their tight end, Tyler Eifert, wide open, no one around him. Social distancing here, and got to keep it in mind even in the video games. And we get pressure up again, but we miss the sack, and finally Merciless comes through, and they'll give him the sack on that one, although it looked more a little bit of an incomplete pass, but I'll take whatever we can get. And that will bring Jacksonville up with a 2nd and 14. And from the shotgun, Menschew will be getting ready. We're going to try to bring some pressure, but we have to cover these passes because we know how he treated us last game. And he dumps it out to the right to one of their backup tight ends, who's going to get a few extra yards down, making it 3rd and 7 from the 38-yard line. Menschew 3 for 4 on the day. Can't be too surprised by that. And now from the 3rd and 7. Menschew's going to drop back again. There's no one he has all day, and he finally finds Fournette, who's for some reason going to run out of bounds because he can't make a cut. And that'll force the Jaguars to punt it to us, and we'll take over at our own 7-yard line.
And we try the running game. And it doesn't really work out. But we do get 3 yards, which is twice as much as our average has been all season per rush. So I guess that's a positive. Yeah, I've been taught my whole life to look at the bright side of things, and well, I guess that's the bright side of things. And so, all right, now we have a 2nd and 7 from our 11. Watson takes it in the shotgun and tosses it to Cobb on the slant, getting us a first down, being smart with it, being safe, because, you know, if we throw it with anybody within 10 yards of our receiver, they get the interception. And so that will bring us to a 1st and 10 from the 19. How are we going to play this one? Watson's going to be in the shotgun. We're going to bring Fuller in some movement, try to get him a little bit lead going across the field. And Watson's going to see Fuller, and we're going to get it to him, and he's going to make the catch. He's running down the left sideline to the 30, and he gets brought down at the 27 after a big gain. Watson to Fuller. What a play, what a pass. Over 100 passing yards in this first quarter for Watson after that, and that was a 54-yard reception. And now we find ourselves at a 2nd and 7 from the 13. Once again, we're going to try to bring some movement, getting our guys a little bit of a head start coming across on these drags and these slant patterns. And Fuller comes, and we drop back, and we hit Fuller again. And he's going to get down, almost make the cut, but stops short at the 3-yard line. That will give us a 1st and goal from the 3. Poised to take the lead here at the start of the 2nd quarter. 1st and goal. Going to be running a play action. Our running game's actually been doing semi-decent, so this may be able to pull it off. And we'll find our fullback, Gillespie, wide open for the easy touchdown. And that will give us the lead of 14-10 here in the first half. A rare lead for this to have this whole season. And Jacksonville's going to take over after a touchback on the kickoff from the 25-yard line. And Menschew rockets it to the left, and we're almost able to jump that pattern. If we were the computer, that pattern would have been intercepted and returned for a touchdown. I think we all can agree on that. And so now Jaguars will be from 2nd and 10, Menschew under center, and he's going to hand it off to Fournette, who makes a cut, but just not quite quick enough, as we do get the tackle and stop him short, bringing up a 3rd and 9. Zach Cunningham, a good hit. Didn't look like he hit him, but hey, we'll take it. Once again, this is a we'll take what we can get type of game. And so will the Jags as they throw it to the left for that first down. I don't even know that receiver's name, for God's sakes. Chark, whatever. A little bit later in the drive, Jacksonville's now with a 1st and goal. And Menschew's not sure what to do, and Watt will get in to get the sack for him, pushing him back all the way to the 15. What a play by Watt. And that will be one of our main big moments of the first half, is pushing them back. They're still in a goal-to-go situation, but they're at the 15 for Christ's sakes. And so now for 2nd and goal. Menschew drops back to pass, and he's eyeballing him. And he gets it over to the left to a wide-open guy, even though I'm pretty sure one of my zone DBs is supposed to be there. So now they have a 3rd and goal from the 12. And I see they're throwing in the flat, so I'm going to call a play that's going to leave our defensive back, at least a safety, somebody there, for if they try that again. And we got everybody pretty much covered, and they hit the left side again, and we don't have anybody there. Don't know what's up with that. But we force a field goal, and we hold on to our lead as the game is now at 14-13 here in the 2nd quarter. And our stubborn old selves try the rush again, and we're actually doing pretty decent today. 8 rushes for 45 yards. That's probably the most we've had all season almost, and at least in a single half, I would say. And on the next play, Watson steps out, and he rolls to his right, and we had him open. We just were not able to get Cooks the ball just slightly too far. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 8 from our own 27-yard line, needing to be smarter than we have been in the past, needing to make sure if we had stopped, we had room to stop and make a good throw, just didn't do it. And that time we find Cooks coming across, but he takes a hard hit and will drop the ball and force us to punt it away. And Jacksonville will now take over from their own 32-yard line. Menschew hands it off to Fournette, and we're actually going to get him stuffed, going right up the middle for a loss, bringing up a 2nd and 11 for Jacksonville. Our defense, it struggles every now and then on those outside running plays with Fournette, but every time he tries to go up the gut, we have been able to stuff him very effectively. Now from 2nd and 11, they go to our Achilles heel, the pass. And Menschew nails Westbrook down the right side for a big gain, bringing up a 1st and 10. And a little bit later in the drive, at the 2-minute mark, Jags find themselves with a 1st and goal. And they're going to send Fournette in motion. Menschew from the shotgun. He drops back and nails Eifert up the middle because, you know, if you're going to make a throw without having your feet set, why not have it be perfect when you throw it to your tight end? All right, so that's 2nd and goal now from the 4. Menschew alone in the backfield from the shotgun, and we are not able to get any pressure, and he heaves it up to Eifert, who somehow comes down with that catch. That's unbelievable. And that is how the first half will end. We do add an extra field goal, but the score is 20-17. Jacksonville will lead, even though we are beating them in the stats with 249 and 48 versus their 146 and 44. That's kind of unbelievable. It's harsh. It hurts. But now for scores from around the league, Baltimore is leading Indianapolis 21-10. Lamar Jackson with 2 touchdowns. Phillip Rivers has also found the end zone 1 time. And in the next game, we're looking at the Seattle visiting Buffalo. And Seattle is putting it to them at 21-10 at halftime. Russell Wilson without a touchdown yet, while Josh Allen has scored. And the next game is Chicago at Tennessee. And the 4-4 Bears do lead the 4-3 Titans at 14-7. Trubisky and Tannehill both having touchdowns respectively. And so now to start the second half, the Jaguars will kick it off to us. And we have replaced our returner with one of our backup wide receivers who's got decent speed, and we get about the same result, but at least we're at the 26 instead of like the 24. So big change for us. And now we are going to take over, looking and hoping to get the lead because we should be able to do that. We've had good success on offense, minus the interception. And we throw it out to the left to Cooks, who's going to make the catch and get stopped rather quickly. And that'll bring up a 2nd and 7 for us. Once again, just trying to be smart. That's our main focus of our offense right now. And we're going to call some changes at the line as we do hand the ball off to Johnson, and we get stuffed. Let the pattern start to repeat itself. And that'll bring us to a 3rd and 8 on our first drive of the second half. We're not even a minute into this half, and we're already facing a 3rd down. And so now from the shotgun, we're going to get Cooks going deep, and hopefully we can get some separation from him. And we're going to run with Watson, and we start the slide, and we fumble, and they're going to pick it up. And they're going to go all the way into the end zone for a touchdown to extend their lead out to 27-17. And I don't know how that happened. You saw the slide animation had started, and for some reason it stopped halfway through. And Watson, the man who runs the ball, or is capable of running at least pretty effectively, for some reason fumbles. Not even a hit stick, not even a hard hit, but fumbles. But fumble. At least he's not Mark Sanchez. I guess I got to give him that one. Well, I got to move on from that. So here we go. I'm taking over again. And on a 2nd and 3, we toss it out to Johnson, but he had to come back for the ball, and that ends up actually being a loss of 1 yard. And so that will now bring up a 3rd and 4. All right. Time to get some guys coming across the field after we spread them out a little bit. And we're going to run over to the right. We stop this time, and we hit Cooks deep on the slant up down the right side, and he will get smashed out of bounds at the 44-yard line. And we got some good movement on that play. So a little bit later in the drive, we find ourselves with the 1st and goal from the 7. About halfway through the 3rd quarter. And we're going to roll out to the right again. And we keep going, and I finally do throw it to Cooks, and that would have been a touchdown. But if you had noticed, I was just over the line, and that one is going to result in a penalty. and we will not get the score. So we're going to have to rerun this one back and do it again. This time we're at a 2nd and goal, and instead of the 7, we're at the 11. And so now for 2nd and goal, trailing by 10 with under 7 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, we're going to send Johnson in motion. And Watson heaves it over the middle to Fuller, and we do get the touchdown that time. And that will bring the score to 24-27. What a great touchdown and a great catch in traffic by Fuller. And that's why we signed him to a contract extension. And now they love Eifert so much, they're not even going to throw it to him. He's going to start running the ball, and he gets a 12-yard rush. Our running back can run for 8 yards. Eifert, the tight end, he can run for 12. And that will give the Jacksonville Jags a 1st and 10 to work with, starting at the 37-yard line. They only lead by 3, so if we can get some good big defensive plays like that, stopping them in the backfield with Mr. J.J. Watt. And we need a little bit more of that if we're going to try to stay in this game, because if we allow them to score and get outside of a touchdown range, it's going to be hard to come back in the 4th quarter. And now they're running with Fournette to the left side, which has tended to be our weak side, but we get him stuffed after a gain of 1 yard, and that brings up a 3rd and 11 for the Jags. And so from the shotgun, they start calling play changes, and so do we. We start changing things up as well. And Menschew from the shotgun, he takes a snap. And we start to get pressure, but they dump it off to their running back because for some reason our linebackers don't like pass coverage very much, and they get a big gain. So a little bit later, we find the Jags at a 3rd and 9, and they start their play call changing again. This time we hold steady with what we had done on the man defense. And we get a little bit of pressure, and this time he drops it. That would have been a big play by their running back, but he had cement hands on that play and was not able to come through. They do punt the ball away and pin us in our own 3-yard line. And as you can tell by that little clip, Zach Cunningham, one of our main outside linebackers, did end up getting hurt in this game. So he will be out for the rest of this game, and we'll check on him afterwards to see his time frame for a return. So now we have ourselves at a 2nd and 10 from the 4, and Johnson with a big hole, able to get a good, decent run for about 8 yards, 9 yards, right up the middle. And that brings us to a 3rd and 1. We are needing to convert these into first downs. If we try to punt the ball away here, we're not too successful with stopping them, at least keeping them out of field goal range. And so this is going to be a big play for us. And on 3rd and 1, we hand it off and just barely get it. We get about 1.5 yards, and Johnson has 15 rushes for 69 yards in this game. So now a little later in the drive, we find ourselves with the 1st and 10 from the 20 in the red zone, handing it off. Still trying to push our way through, and Johnson gets 1 yard. He's at 17 rushes for 78 yards this afternoon. And that'll bring us to a 2nd and 9. And on a play like this, we need to start looking for our big play receivers. You know, the tight ends. Fells, he's okay, but we need Cooks, we need Fuller, and even we need Cobb if we can get some separation with him. And so we see Cooks got the movement on the left, but he bobbles the pass and he tosses it up, and it's going to get intercepted by Jacksonville. Oh, that is just painful to watch. The 2nd interception thrown by us. And that will result in a long drive for the Jags as we find them with a 1st and 10 and a big play to Shark down on a slant pattern. That takes them down to the 21-yard line because for some reason our guys don't know how to cover a slant. Apparently we have to work on that. Now a 1st and 10 from the 20. Menschew throws it down to the right side, and they will make the catch, but we will give them a heck of a shot out of bounds. And Menschew, they say they're the 31st passing offense, which should give you a sign about what our passing defense is like if he's got a couple 100 yards against us. Now on a 2nd and 2, they hand it off, going up the middle, and he bounces off our linebacker and gets an extra about 5 yards, Thompson does. And that'll give the Jags a 1st and goal from the 7-yard line. All right, so they're going to keep dropping back in the shotgun. We have got to watch out for this running game. We've got some of their linemen beat a lot of times, but just not able to get the pressure that we need. We need a big presence in the middle. That is something we're missing. You know, it's already been past the trade deadline, so we're not making a trade there. There's nobody in free agency at the moment. We'll have to wait till the end of the season or the draft. So now on a 2nd and goal from the 3, they run the option and we smash him. We hit stick the heck out of Menschew, and he holds on to the ball. That should have been a fumble. If that was Watson, he definitely would have fumbled. And Menschew's not even a guy that's really known for mobility. And so that brings up a 3rd and goal, and we have to stuff him. Since we're going to allow a score, at least just let it be a field goal. And we bust through the line, and Watt hammers her running back down with another hit stick, and yet no fumble recorded by the computer. All right. They do get a field goal, so we are now trailing by 6, still within attacking range. And Watson's going to roll out to the left and get some good yards going up the left side of the field there. Big rush. He has 5 rushes for 52 yards on the day, and that gives us a 1st and 10 with just about 6 minutes to go in this game. And Watson's back in the shotgun again. We're starting to change things up, get some players moving across the middle. Hopefully we can get one of those linebackers to stop the coverage, and Watson's going to take the sack. I didn't have anybody open, and so my one personal preference was just accept the sack. Don't make the risky throw that I know is going to be intercepted, because no one needs that in their life at this time. And so now we find ourselves with a 2nd and 13 after that sack. And we're going to start making some play changes. Once again, I want Cooks down that left side after that big play earlier in the game. And we're going to roll to our right, and no one's there, so we're going to head and we're going to slide down. This time they allow us to slide without fumbling. And that will bring up a big 3rd and 9 with under 5 minutes to go from the 47-yard line here in the 4th quarter at Jacksonville. We need the 1st down. I don't want to be caught in a 4th down situation. And we see the coverage we want on the outside, and Cooks, he gets around our man, and we heave it up, and it's going to be just out of his reach. And we will go for it on a 4th down and not get it, so we turn the ball over to Jacksonville, who's going to start running it with Fournette once again on the left side, which is our weak side, and he will gain 4 yards on that play. Now that'll be 2nd and 6. And Menschew from the shotgun again. And they will dump it off to Westbrook, and they will get another 1st down to the 35-yard line. 3 minutes to go in this game. So 1st and 10, Menschew's under center this time. And he will drop back, and they don't hand it off. Instead, they toss it to Eifert, who gets smashed but holds on to the ball. Menschew has 273 yards on the day and 1 touchdown. So a 2nd and 1 with 2.5 minutes to go. And Menschew's under center again. And he's going to take the snap, and he hands it off to Fournette, who makes 1 cut, makes a 2nd cut, and heads up the middle of the field for a touchdown. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how this game is going to finish. Extremely disappointing. We lose by 2 touchdowns this time. 38-24 to Jacksonville. Another division game lost. Another rivalry game lost. We are going to have to figure something out. We're not forcing turnovers. Our rushing game was better, but it needs to do more. We outplayed them at 382 and 144 to their 254 and 107, but our 4 turnovers, the interceptions, the fumbles, we just can't have that continue to happen and be successful.
And that will do it for us against the Jags. This is beyond ridiculous. I don't see how their defensive backs somehow are just that amazing. And no matter what, we're never in position. How are we never in position? If we run man, for some reason they have a 5-yard separation. If we run zone, for some reason our guys are way out of position and they're nailing them in the zone. I don't get it. Um, I mean, it's frustrating as heck. Yeah, you know the like that last interception. That never should have been an interception. We nailed him perfectly, and this guy just makes this amazing leap up to catch it. Really? I mean, come on. And then the fact, no matter what we do, no turnovers. We hit stick Gardner Menschew, for God's sakes. We nailed him. Did he lose the ball? No. Deshaun Watson gets looked at funny, and we fumble. You know, our running backs, you know, if we get hits, basically what amounts to a truck, a hit stick, we fumble. We did that to their guys multiple times. Not one time did they turn it over. And somehow, some way, our guys are always massively out of position on passing. I don't understand it. I really don't. But that's well, I guess we just got to get better. This year is looking. We're 3-5. So are we out of it? You know, let me advance the week real quick and let's see what the rest of our division is like. You know, after we lost to the Titans had the lead in the division at 3-3. So no, maybe we're not out of it yet. Okay, so we're 3-5. We're in last place, but let's go to AFC South. Yeah, Tennessee's 4-4, and Indy's 4-4. So we're gonna have to turn it around and play dang near perfect. You know, and I mean maybe we can afford maybe one, maybe two more losses at most. So we're through 8 games. We're gonna have to go 6-2 or 7-1 in the next 8 games to be able to pull this out. I said I don't. Man, I've tried it out on All Pro and it's just not nearly as fun or as stressful. So I don't want to drop the difficulty. I haven't really seen a whole lot of things on slider changes that make sense. So I'm still kind of waiting on that decision. If I do decide to drop down for to All Pro, I might just try it out for this one game. If I get a cheap win out of it, so be it. At this point, I'm willing to try anything. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll see what I plan to do for the next game. So until then, I do want to thank you all for watching. And so remember to hit the subscribe button if you are not subscribed already. And if you like today's video, hit that thumbs up button. And I will see y'all next time whenever we face the Cleveland Browns. So, once again, as always, stay safe and later, y'all.